This is a Ramana Maharshi clip, a talk by Ramana Maharshi with comments by Richard Clarke. This is a time to listen, reflect, and deeply meditate. I'm Richard. Welcome. I'm reviewing and commenting on the book Talks with Sri Ramana Maharshi. Today is from Talk 131. Mr. Subba Rao asks, what is Mukhya Prana, the chief prana? Maharshi, it is that from which the ego and the prana rise. It's sometimes called Kundalini. Consciousness is not born at any time. It remains eternal. But ego is born, so also the other thoughts. Consciousness is not born at any time. It remains eternal. But ego is born, so also the other thoughts. Associated with the absolute consciousness, they shine forth, not otherwise. The questioner, what is moksha, liberation? Maharshi, moksha is to know that you were not born. Be still and know that I am God. To be still is not to think. Know and not think is the word. In this dialogue, Mr. Subba Rao asked a profound question about the concept of Mukhya Prana, or the chief prana. Ramana Maharshi's response reveals his deep view of Advaita Vedanta and the nature of consciousness. Maharshi's reply, it is that from which the ego and the prana rise. It's sometimes called Kundalini. Consciousness is not born at any time. It remains eternal. But the ego is born, so also the other thoughts. Associated with the absolute consciousness, they shine forth, not otherwise. Ramana describes Mukhya Prana, the primary life force, as the source from which both the ego and prana, the life force, arise. This is sometimes called Kundalini, described as a dormant coiled energy at the base of the spine. Ramana emphasizes that consciousness is eternal, not subject to birth or death. It is the unchanging reality underlying all existence. The ego, on the other hand, is born. So are our thoughts. These thoughts, including the ego, exist due to the Mukhya Prana. The ego and thoughts are lit up by the absolute consciousness, so they shine forth. Recognizing the eternal and all-illuminating nature of consciousness is key to understanding the origin of ego and thoughts. First is consciousness, in which ego and thoughts appear and disappear. Thoughts exist only because of the consciousness that we are. Mr. Rao then follows up with a question about moksha, or liberation, to which Ramana replies, moksha is to know that you were not born. Be still and know that I am God. To be still is not to think. Know and not think is the word. Here, Ramana explains that moksha is the realization of your true self, consciousness, and it is never subject to birth or mortality. To reach this understanding, you must transcend thought and be in stillness. The essence of moksha lies in direct experiential knowledge, not indirect intellectual thinking. This dialogue encapsulates the essential teaching of Ramana Maharshi in Advaita Vedanta. It emphasizes the eternal nature of consciousness, the birth of the ego and thoughts in consciousness, and the path to liberation through direct knowing rather than intellectual thinking. So inquire, know yourself, and be always free and at peace. These videos help bring Ramana Maharshi's teachings into your direct experience. Subscribe now